Welcome to the Queen's Lair, a lifestyle podcast. Get inspired by our latest tips and information about small business, entrepreneurship, natural hair, travel, food, and even relationships. Stay tuned for another great episode. I am your host, Renee Patrice. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into my podcast once again. Why are y'all archiving your posts? Can I ask that? Why are y'all archiving your posts on social media? Instagram, to be exact. Why? Here's what I have seen. I see a lot of people archiving their posts or erasing everything and starting over with their rebranding or new stuff or whatever it is that they're doing. When you do this, it is as if you're erasing everything that you've done before, everything that you've done previously. If you go all the way back to the beginning of my Instagram, which will probably take you back, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 years, something like that. When you go all the way back, you will actually see old branding. You will see how my brand has evolved. You will see just all of the work that has gone in, all of the work that has gone into my brand to bring it where it is today. You'll see old brand colors. You'll see old logos. You will see the old format of how I used to do all of my flyers and things like that. Like, don't be afraid for people to see what things used to look like. Don't be afraid for people to know how things used to be. There's nothing wrong with that. And let me tell you something. I'm going to say this. There are so many brand managers, PR people, marketing folks, coaches, gurus, whatever you want to call yourself, strategists, whatever, that are going to tell you to wipe everything clean and put everything up brand new. You don't tell me that all of these people, clients, customers, whatever, started out knowing exactly, perfectly what to post. I'm all about a great timeline and curating that timeline. But I'm going to tell you, I tell you right now, if I don't have anything to post on my timeline, I'm not posting. It's been almost a month since I posted on my timeline. The last time I posted on my timeline was July 11th, I believe. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to August 11th before I post anything new on my timeline. I might start before that, but I think I'm kind of on a roll now because it's already a week into August. Like, who cares? We are in a world of curation. Everything has to look perfect. Everything has to look exactly so. The only thing that I'm a stickler for is grammar. I always want to make sure that grammar is correct. And sometimes, the new rules of grammar and the old rules of grammar, clash. Or, people will be looking at the associated style dictionaries and APA style dictionaries and things like that. There's always going to be some sort of back and forth where that's concerned and what you can get away with and what people tend to do anyway. Because at the end of the day, you can do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? You can do whatever you want. But that's one thing that I do get on is some grammar stuff. But as far as being perfectly curated, we have to mold this a certain way. Nah. And to be honest, it's because we want to do that why we keep holding back. We keep holding back what it is that we want to do, what we really want to execute, because we want to be so perfect. If you don't want to post on your timeline this week, then don't. But just know that if you don't, do something else in another area for your business. Because I see a lot of people just posting stuff just to be posting. And it doesn't make any sense, or they don't put any thought into it. They just throw things up there and it looks cheap. And if you think that you're going to get sales by looking cheap, that's not going to happen. Well, maybe not the sales that you want. Maybe not attracting the business that you want. You will always attract business some kind of way, but what type of business are you looking for? A lot of times I see clients, they think that, some of their clientele is cheap, or how dare they come at me with this price, or how dare they do this. And I'm saying to myself, okay, what are you doing to present yourself a certain way? What are you doing to say, okay, this is how I've grown? A lot of times people, they're not buying your stuff. They are buying into your story. So how can they truly buy into your story if they don't see the journey, the growth? That's really what people are buying. They're buying into your story. They're just supporting your products because they love your story. So when you post something up about a show that you've done, or whatever the case may be, post up the mistakes. Post up that picture that has a whole story behind it. I took this picture right here. I'm smiling in this picture, but earlier that day, I'm trying to not speak about certain clients, but show the story behind the smile. And maybe that smile was fake. Maybe it's like, you know what? I was smiling in this picture, but I just got into a big argument with one of my coworkers. I was smiling in this picture, hanging with my family, but I had just gotten laid off at my job 2 days prior to that. But nobody knew. Tell your story. Stop holding back on your story. Stop deleting the archives in your life. Oh, this is a metaphor right now. Why are you deleting the archives of your life? What your life was in the past is a lot of who made you and who you are right now in the future. That was kind of a tongue twister right there. And that's okay. As long as you're a good person, you treat people right, follow God's plan for your life, walk in your assignments, and sometimes it's hard to find that out. We've talked about this on this podcast many times. Some people are like, well, how do I know if I'm walking in my assignment? Oh, you will know. You will know. If you're constantly, you don't know where you want to be, you're up in the air, you're not walking in your assignment because you're still searching. Constantly searching means you're not walking in your assignment, and you may need to listen a little closer to your spirit and what it's telling you. Sometimes we don't want to listen to that because we want to be popping. We want to be fly. We want to be out here. We want to, you know what I'm saying? That's the new thing. We out here. Out here doing what? Popping for who? Flossing for who? People are only showing you, what is the saying? People are only showing you the highlights. But you have no idea the grit and the grut or whatever is going on behind the scenes. They're only showing you the good parts. So you're trying to keep up with the Joneses of the good parts. And all the ugly parts are back there, but you don't know because you're busy trying to keep up with whatever you think is on and popping. And I'll tell you like this, I know that I'm probably biased this way, but I don't care what's on and popping. If I feel like joining the groove here and there, I'll join the groove. If I don't, I don't. Like, I really don't care what's on and popping. That's not important to me. People are like, well, you got to stay in the mix. No, you don't. You can do whatever you want to do. Just tell it in your story. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing. Tell it your own way. Tell it the way that that is most natural to you. You can keep up on social media and you can do all those things and tell your own story. Why would you present your story like how somebody else's? That's not your story. That's somebody else's narrative, which doesn't make any sense. You keep deleting all your failures. You keep deleting how things used to be. You keep deleting all this stuff. It doesn't make sense. Those are lessons for you to take into future. I don't ever want to forget or delete anything that has happened in my life. No matter how hurtful it was, no matter how wrong it was, because those things are going to lead me to the positive things in my future. I'm taking lessons with me. I don't look at things as failures. I think I've spoken about this before. I don't look at things as failures. I look at them as lessons. People are like, oh, I failed. No, it was a lesson. What did you learn from the failure? If you're failing and you're not learning from that failure, step back and reevaluate. Honestly, every failure is a lesson. Find the lesson in it. Look back at your old posts and see the way that you used to speak. And now that you're in this future time, speak better. Get off of some of these pages. I know I'm biased. I know I am. Get off of these pages that are only dragging people down. Sometimes they say some good things and sometimes they don't. Get off of these tea pages. Get off of these gossip pages. Unfollow these things because it just feeds your mind with nonsense. And you can't get down, and this is for my business people, how are you going to get down to the business because you're following all these crazy pages? You're following all these so-called controversial speakers who they give like these one-liners and that makes people follow them. Meanwhile, their life is shambles. It don't make sense. Not everybody is meant to be followed on the gram. Some people you just have to watch what they do and just slide out through the back. Like, I don't need all of it. I don't need all this information. Some people like information overload, but it's empty information. It's just people talking to be seen, and they are not truly bringing value. And if you're following 3,000-4,000 people, there is no way that you can consume proper information. This is why I don't follow a lot of people on social media. I follow people who truly are impactful. When you don't know what to do or where to be, you'll just follow any old thing. And I see it happen all the time. Why are you following people that are constantly talking down to folks? That backhanded comment crew. That nice, nasty group. And you disguise it as jokes. Disguise it as online comedian or whatever the case may be. Yeah, I said it. It's not funny. Some of these folks just come into people's comments to make these sideways comments so that they can get likes, so that they can get, people coming back to their page. That's not the way to do it at the expense of somebody's hurt or whatever. I see this happening all the time. And, honestly, I look at the person who has allowed them to comment certain things. And if I see that this is happening a lot, I stop even following that person because you allowed them to comment this without addressing it. Either you're deleting it or you pin the comment to make an example out of them, which is, I'm glad when folks do that. They pin their comment, and then they come under the comment to tell them why their comment is horrible. Because sometimes people need to be made an example of. We're living in a time where not only are people trying to keep up with the Joneses, but we are literally trying to hide who we are, trying to hide our identity. We don't even want to talk about our culture. We don't want to talk about the African diaspora and where we come from. We're beating a path to go visit. I just talked to a client about this the other day. We're beating a path to go to all these different countries all over the world except our own. I'm all for visiting, different cultures and all of that. But you know what? We got to start visiting our own countries. We got to get to our own islands. We got to get to Africa. We have to start seeing where our roots come from. I'm not against traveling to London. I've been to London. I'm not against going to Paris, and I'm not against any of that. But let's start with our stuff first. This is how we change our mindset. This is how we have the love and appreciation from where we are from. Build from the inside out. It's so important. And it's important not to erase who we are. And I know it just seems so simple. Archiving Instagram posts. Oh, it's not a big deal. But I see a lot of people using it to appear perfect. And that's not what this is about. But I hope somebody gets some use out of this particular episode. And stop archiving your posts. This is just bigger than Instagram. Stop archiving things in your life. You know what I'm saying? Whatever happened. It's there. Move on to the next step. But don't sweep it away like it didn't happen. All right, you guys. Like, share, subscribe to this podcast. Share it with someone that you think would absolutely find it helpful. And let's connect over on Instagram at Onyx Queen Media. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Online savings simplified. Don't search for coupon codes ever again. With one click, Honey's smart shopping assistant will automatically apply discounts to your cart in seconds. Save on all your favorite things. Easily pay less for products you're already buying online. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Join Honey for free. It takes 2 clicks to add Honey to your Chrome, Safari, Firefox, or Opera browser. Find savings in seconds. While you shop, Honey will find working promo codes across the entire internet, and you save instantly. With one click, Honey will apply the best deals to your cart. It's that easy. So what are you waiting for? Get Honey. Download it today. Visit our link, www.tinyurl.com/ONYXHONEY. That's www.tinyurl.com/Onyx Honey. Start saving right now.